Is there a clicker for the back? It's not a clicker. Stop touching it. We're using the computer as a clicker. Okay. Hi everyone. Pleasure to meet you. Happy to be here. Have to say it's super exciting to meet people face to face after the last year of just communicating with metaverse world that we all want to build so badly, but then when we do it's quite boring not to meet people face to face. I'm Tomer. I'm the protocol lead of GoodDollar. Today I'm going to talk to you how do we use today Ethereum. Hopefully soon we are expanding into Celo. And how do we use it to deliver UBI to any person with a smartphone? A little bit about my background and how did I get to lead the protocol of GoodDollar and how did I fell into the rabbit hole that is called crypto. Around 2013, I was a student of psychology and economics. And I was also surprised about the fact that when we talk about social structures in psychology, you talk about it as if it's something that stands in a vacuum. The decisions that we make and the values that we have are all in a vacuum. Research as if they are not related to however it is, what it is that we're doing with our economy. Then on the other side, I was studying economy, and economy seems to be just decisions that we make in order to grow our GDP of our country, unrelated to whatever it is, the social structure or what we imagine our society to be. Something that was quite frustrating for me back then. I met a combination, the breach between those gaps on Bitcoin back then, launched my first currency called the Jerusalem Lira back then in 2014. Did a long journey since then. Now I'm doing GoodDollar. GoodDollar, our vision, generally speaking, is a world where everyone has a crypto basic income and the financial knowledge to use it. The first question here is why do we say crypto basic income and not just basic income? I think one of the most misleading terms that we use today is the unbanked or the underbanked, as if once we'll give them a bank, that will solve all of their problems, right? The bank, your friend, will come, connect to all the unbanked people, and that's it, will solve their problems. We've learned that the existing financial system doesn't serve the people who exist within it. Definitely wouldn't serve the people who are still not included within it. I do believe that by creating a new financial system based on cryptocurrencies, we are able to create an inclusive economy that will make everybody enjoy the economy and not work for the economy. Second, our second goal is to give people the financial knowledge of how to do it, how to become their own bank. A bit about GoodDollar. GoodDollar is a 100% non-for-profit founded by Yoni Asya, the founder of eToro as well, and it's fully sponsored by eToro. Something that is important for us, GoodDollar is 100% fair lunch, meaning no pre-minting of GoodDollar. Doesn't matter if you donated money to GoodDollar, doesn't matter if you're the protocol architect. We have no GoodDollars that were minted to us. It's all a fair lunch, meaning there's an incentive structure that I will explain about, and everybody are welcome to participate in it. Me, same as you guys, same as any other person around the world. And third, we're an open innovation, meaning everything we develop is an open source for the use of others. We don't say just open source because it's cool. And we say an open innovation because for us, we want other people to take part of our code. We want people to take part of our vision and implement it into their goals and into their visions. We believe that's as important as the project that we do here. So this is an open invitation for you guys to take whatever parts you want of it and maybe even use our code and hopefully even collaborate with us in building the vision I just presented to you, because you'll see the rest of the slides that we can't do GoodDollar by ourselves. GoodDollar is just one piece that is needed in order to deliver basic income to the world. A bit about the problem that we are trying to solve. Cycle of poverty. I believe that poverty is too much of a complex issue for me to explain you about it. But I will say that it's a vicious circle, and no one can fulfill himself if he needs to take care of the food of his child to have food on the child's table the day after. UBI seems to be one way of us to face it. What is UBI? It's basically giving people money periodically, unconditionally. Doesn't matter if you're Jeff Bezos or you're a kid in Africa, you deserve money because you're a human being. The researchers that researched this subject found out that giving people basic income helped them with anxiety, being part of the community, feeling more connected. The best article I've ever read about that was, did you really need to research to know that giving people money will help them? So that's UBI, basically. But UBI has a tiny problem that we need to talk about, which is the cost of universal basic income. What we see on here, on the left, is the cost of the safety net of the US today, $2.6 trillion. That's the cost of the public medical care, public housing, everything that the US is doing to support the weak people in its community costs them $2.6 trillion. But if they would like to distribute $1,000 a month per a person in the US, that will cost them another $2.4 trillion, which basically leaves us with three options of how can we deliver UBI, basic income, to all the people. It's either we add additional taxes, second, we give up on the existing safety net, or we print more money. All of those solutions are talking about redistribution of wealth, talking about how do we take the wealth that exists today and give it back to the people who need it in their mind. In our mind, the way to create basic income wouldn't come from redistributing wealth, but from wealth creation. And as members of the crypto community, we have seen that we are capable of creating new wealth. We've all been part of the Ethereum movement, all been part of the Bitcoin movement. We have seen that if we work together to create the right incentive structure, we are capable of creating wealth. For the sake of the example, let's talk about consensus a little bit in the Bitcoin ecosystem. The graph that you see here on the bottom is the value of Bitcoin minted to miners daily. Today, at the, let's say, the 21st of July, there was about $30 million minted to miners mining Bitcoin. So, but in Bitcoin economy, we are all happy to reward the miners, right? Like no one of us holding Bitcoin has a problem with the miners getting $30 million every day. The reason for it is because we believe that the miners are the ones responsible for the consensus, the social agreement that allows Bitcoin to exist. In our mind, when we thought about GoodDollar, our question was, can we create a new economy where the social agreement is based on the people's usage of the currency? Can we say that just by the mere fact that you are a person using a currency, you deserve to be part of the consensus mechanism, and will that consensus mechanism actually create a social agreement of people using a new currency? I will answer those questions in the next slides. When we designed GoodDollar, our token, we had three principles in mind. First was liquid. You don't like our token? You're welcome to immediately take it and convert it to any other token. It's liquid from day one. It's not about giving you a token and telling you one day when everybody will accept it, they will have a price. No, day one, here's a token, take it, convert it if you don't like it. Second, we wanted to design something that is stable enough. If we look at the spectrum of stability today in crypto, we have two types of assets. We have stable coins, coins that are pegged to the US dollars or to the euro in that case, or currencies that are used as a speculative asset. We wanted to create something that is stable enough to be used as a medium of exchange. No one wants to be the next person to pay 10,000 Bitcoins for a pizza, okay? But we still wanted it to reflect the productivity of the community and the adoption that is happening to that currency. And third, we want to create something sustainable. We want to create an ongoing model driven by incentives and not something that is based around donations, because When the donations will end, the UBI will end. This is the GoodDollar model. GoodDollar model is divided into 3 smart contracts that we have built. I would actually start with the middle one called the Good Reserve. GoodDollar is a reserve-based currency. That means something pretty simple. Today, in the reserve, we have a currency called, a token called CDAI, compound DAI, if you know it. If you want to buy GoodDollar, you're always welcome to deposit CDAI into the reserve, and the reserve will mint GoodDollars back to you. If you want to sell your GoodDollars, you can always come with your GoodDollars to the reserve, send it to the reserve will destroy your GoodDollars, and withdraw CDAI for you from the reserve. The price is determined by an algorithm that we wrote that is dependent on a few variables. If you're interested in that, please come after and I'll talk to you about the reserve mechanism and the pricing mechanism. Second part, so this is the Good Reserve one smart contract. The second smart contract we have is what we call the trust, the trust fund. The trust fund is basically a wrapper to other DeFi protocols. Today, we're wrapping Compound. People are staking their money to the trust fund. The trust fund is staking their money to Compound. The interest that the trust fund is creating is going, we'll see it in a second, into the Good Reserve in matter of CDAI, and they are being rewarded back with more GoodDollars. So as an investor, we're telling you, stake your money, and you will be rewarded with GoodDollars instead of the interest that you're supposed to be getting. Okay? And that's what backs the GoodDollar that we distribute on a daily basis. The third one is the distribution mechanism that we have. The distribution mechanism that we have is pretty simple. Any person around the world can sign up, go through a face verification system. It's an anonymous face verification system, meaning there's no connection between who you are to the picture that we have in the background, meaning even if something is getting hacked, no one has the data, the biometric data that is used. It's all hashed. That's important to say. The interesting thing of what it creates for us, this is a mock-up of the version 2 that we will launch in September. What's interesting about the new staking system that we have created, that once you will stake your money with GoodDollar, you could see your APY, how much money you will be making by staking your money, and your social APY, how much UBI your money will be creating to the world, thanks to the fact that you staked your money. So for the first time, we have a double bottom line that people can actually follow. They can say, well, I know what's my double bottom line, I know what's my bottom line, and what's my social bottom line that I have created. We launched GoodDollar in September. We launched the first version. We looked at the version as a POC, the proof of concept that we wanted to do. We asked ourselves a few questions before launching the product. I'm going to go over the questions that we asked ourselves and what was the answers that we've got. So the first question that we ask ourselves is, does our money flow system work as we expected it? Does everything I just showed you actually works? So we staked $56,000. And we managed to reach 220,000 people from all around the globe, who we delivered $16,000 value of UBI, which was our proof that our system actually works. Today, GoodDollar is used for over 1,000 and 200, 300 average transactions a day. So far, there's above 100,000 transactions that happened so far using GoodDollar between people, peer-to-peer transactions. Second question we asked ourselves is, has our stabilizing system managed to create a currency and not a speculative asset, which was something that was important to us, as we mentioned. Our market cap today is $166,000, which is very small by any means, and we're proud of it. What we're actually more proud of is the fact that our monthly price variation is 2.4%. That's more stable than any currency in the top 100 coin market cap, and better performing than most of the currencies in the developing world, which is where we want to go to. the last question is, would people accept GoodDollar and start using it? And would it happen according to our theory of change? So our theory of change was the fact that countries with high penetration of smartphones and unstable economies will be the first to adopt GoodDollar as an actual currency that they will prefer to use over the currency that they live in. It's their choice, and if we'll give them a better choice, will they actually adopt it? Every country colored in blue on the map is a country where people are claiming GoodDollar on a monthly basis. 3 countries that we haven't reached so far is the Central Republic of Africa, South Sudan, and North Korea. Other than that, any other country in the world is claiming GoodDollar on a monthly basis. Just to give it to you a bit of perspective, only in Vietnam, there's already 1 million by today, but back then it was almost 1 million times people clicked claim and claimed their GoodDollars. What we imagined that would happen, and actually happened, is that there will be created pockets of communities. There will be created communities where there's enough to have one person who understands blockchain and to understand the liquidity in order for everybody around them in the community to use it. And that's what we are seeing today in Vietnam, India, Nigeria, Indonesia, and Argentina, actually. That's what drives the usage of GoodDollar on a monthly basis. That's basically it. I hope you enjoyed and you got to understand a little bit. I'll be taking questions if you have. But I'll go back to the goal of this talk. If you've seen our model, you understood that we can't do it ourselves. Our face verification system is still centralized. The on and off ramps to GoodDollars are happening by people who understand a bit of blockchain. Our income that we are generating is based on other people's DeFi protocols. We don't intend to do it ourselves. We intend to be just one piece of the puzzle. I want to invite you to come collaborate with us, and let's build this thing together. Thank you. If you have questions, I think we can do it in a smaller version where we sit down. No? Thanks.